We go. I do believe we're live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. It's nice to have you here with me. While I was practicing yoga today, this little turtle revealed himself. And even though he's not very happy about me holding on to him, I am trying to help. He has a big old tick underneath his shell that has been stuck there for what looks like months, or at least several weeks. And I am going to doctor little turtle as a apology or as a thank you, I guess, as well, for him lending me some of his cute. This thing really is in there, and it's aware of me. Oh, jeebies. Took a big piece of skin with it. But there it is, a tick on the little turtle. I'm sorry, little dude. That does not look like was nice to have removed. I don't understand how it bit onto so much flesh, but that seems like the only one it has. And it did go in somewhere where it wouldn't be able to reach itself. If I check the rest of it, he seems or she seems mostly clean. Inspect a little bit more. Yeah, I think that is good. Big tick has been removed from Mr. Turtle. And now we'll let them free again. It knows where it wants to go. It's gonna go pretty much that way. Kobe is dry hunter in my mat. Shame. Say bye to Mr. Turtle. He's been set free. A parasite lighter. The tick that bit the turtle is no more. Gobi is so curious. Turtle is trying to hide away from him until he doesn't notice anymore. Maybe we should just walk him out into the distance. It's gonna be the good angle, maybe even from the house. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's take you out to where you're going, little homie. I have been keeping you for so long. Maybe you got some friends waiting for you. Little turtle is flying. Go in the direction he wants to go finally. This is where you're at, right? This is where you want to be going. move this rock again. I was holding on to the tripod and I was doing the yoga. All right, successfully, we have tried to be helpful. And I feel like that is what I want to talk about today is a centering thought, because I do feel it's going to be one of those things that come up in life over and over, that we, at least some of us as human beings, want to be helpful, right? And in that attempt to be helpful, we can't always know the will of those we're trying to help. I would like to believe that that tortoise felt the tick on its butt, but of course couldn't reach it. But I would also be willing to admit that being held by a giant must have been perturbing, distressing at the very least. And I appreciate these opportunities to see these contrasts, because if it didn't have a tick, I would have just been holding onto it to show you friends. Right? Especially since it arose as a spirit in my environment. I think it helps that it's slow. Otherwise, I'd be catching all of the creatures that I see in my world to show you, friends. Let me switch this off as well so you can hear Burby sounds. Yeah, trying to be helpful. I think that's the journey that we, as human beings, find ourselves on. I absorbed again a fractal today talking about relationships and about how one of the most predictable metrics for happiness is the quality of a person's relationships, the depth of their relationships. Cool outfit. Also love the surroundings. Thank you, friend. I'm happy to share this experience with you in this moment. It really is a pleasure to be able to hit a button, open this little portal. Today's conversation, the thing we're kind of circling, is this fractal of trying to be helpful. It is not always easy, especially in a world that grows more and more sophisticated. Then there's also the aspect of just helping yourself, all right? Something that can be attached to some negative connotations. Oh, yeah, he just walked in and helped himself, right? Suddenly that's not a good thing anymore. However, there's also room, at least in my world, to acknowledge that you have to help yourself. The whole fractal of once you stop being a baby, it's your responsibility to bring the food up to your mouth and feed yourself. And I feel again, we have tended to overcomplicate, or at the very least, intellectualize ourselves into doing certain things, right? My first intellectualization of why I wanted to hold that turtle hostage for a brief period of time is because I wanted to show you friends. And then upon checking him, making sure he's okay, making sure there's nothing broken or hurt, or I spot the little tick. And then instead of removing it right there, right then, as fast as possible, I started the stream and decided to do it here with you, friends. Right? Which, again, to my intellectualizing brain, gives you a reason to not be angry at me for holding the turtle hostage a little bit. Hey, hey, Sam. We're having some conversations about trying to be helpful and all of the ways in which that manifests and all of the way we intellectualize that concept for ourselves. Sometimes at the point where we're not helpful at all. Could I have been more helpful if I took the tick off 2 minutes earlier? I don't know if it's gonna make a big difference to the turtle. I think it's happy holding a turtle hostage. Blinks. What? Yeah. Sometimes with a live stream, things happen and then they cease. You'll have to go and rewatch the start of stream for today, dear Sam. But if you notice the thumbnail, we had a turtle in stream today. Said turtle had a little parasite. Said parasite was removed. Said turtle was freed. But I would have held the turtle hostage to show you friends the turtle, even if there was no parasites. All right. And I was happy to have the little turtle show up in my immediate space while I was practicing yoga. Hello, hello. Hey, how you doing, Jaju? Can't imagine it's any better than yesterday. I've been thinking about you a lot, but it's nice to have you here again today. Sending you so much love. We had a turtle in the space today. Let me see if I can show you the exact species. Mm-mm-mm. I just captured a little turtle in Mpumalanga, South Africa. No, 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 no. Don't keep it. No, I'm not trying to keep it. You need a permit. Keeping any tortoise without a permit is illegal in South Africa, and it harms the animal. Yeah, I wasn't trying to harm it. I removed the parasite. I'm the good guy, okay? I shouldn't have said captured. Common species, leopard tortoise. I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, it was a little leopard tortoise. One of these dudes. Look at that little guy. Definitely one of these. About that size. Was I mistaken with how big they get? No, they do get bigger. This is a big one. You can see the well-defined shape ridges, shell ridges. Max speed 1 kilometer an hour when they're sprinting. That's kind of cute. Oh, you want to see a baby one? Right, a little baby one. Yeah, they occur wildly in this space. Isn't that awesome? I'm pretty sure it's a leopard tortoise. I removed the big tick that it had and I set it free again. Healthy well. Removing the tick was a kind gesture. Good. Though ticks are a natural part of their ecosystem, it usually does not cause serious harm to wild adults. Okay. Alright. Releasing the tortoise in the same spot. We did that. Leopard tortoises are protected in South Africa. Keeping them out of out of permit is a criminal offense. Good thing I didn't keep it. Right? Wrong. Criminal offense. Health and disease. Keeping wild tortoises even briefly can expose them to domestic pathogens that they could spread to the wild populations upon release. Natural occurrence. Yeah. Safe removal. Fine tip tweezers. We did exactly that. Never use chemicals. No chemicals were used. Yeah, everything was good. I was hoping for more like lore about them existing in this area, but guess that's what we get. Not a lot to keep it. But it's happy and healthy and it's out there in the world. Little turtle with a parasite. Good on you for fixing little dude. Yeah, it was a big tick, right? Only had one of them at least. I'm happy to remove it. I have two sulcatos. They're big and slow turtle dudes. The little one is 40 kilos and can move faster than you can walk if you walk slowly. Oh, Gobi! Uh-uh! He just rolled. He just rolled in the frickin' turtle shit. Uh-uh! Gobi! That's disgusting! Uh, Stay away from me. Look at the side of him. That's all turtle shit on him. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm not touching you. You can see that, right? Look at that. All of that black is turtle shit on his neck. Why would you roll in turtle shit, bro? Like, what about that was like, yes, delicious. Part of me wants to go and like scrub him down. Shantai! Shantai! No hearing me. Shantai! Nothing. Bruh. I'm gonna have to go wash this dog. Otherwise, it's gonna like dry into his fur. Ah, don't fall on me now. This is. I'm not having a good time right now. I'm frustrated. Like, why would you do that? Like, you have all of this free little will, all right? You got this free will, and then you use your free will to roll in turtle shit. Like, I don't even want to. Like he's covered in it. Like, I can't even pick him up without touching shit. Dude, I'm really upset. We're gonna have to go and wash you or something. I don't think this is fun for either of us, dude. But this is the I rolled in turtle shit option life path. You have free will, but you're not free of consequences. Why would you do that, dude? Yes. Like, all things you can do. All right. That is. That is one way to try and be helpful from my side. Washing the junk off the dog. Yeah. Not exactly how I wanted to spend any of my time today, but it was still wet enough that it actually came off with minimal scrubbing. But scrubbing, I had to scrub. I hope my hands are clean. He's running himself dry right now. Clearly didn't have too traumatic of a wash. You fine? Huh? You alright? You were covered in turtle shit a second ago. Don't pretend like I was mean or something. You're sitting in the sun though. Trying to get dry. Oh, I'm just trying to get dry. Yeah. 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 Hello, Darren. It's nice having you here with us as well. Tortoise poo is like cow poo. It turns to dust eventually, but it grows for a while. Yeah, it's mostly it's mostly grass and water, but it does stink. Don't exactly smell that great, no. Kobe Duder doing himself a dry. Good for him. Good morning, Melty. My day is starting slow. I'm okay. Just heart beating, not broken, just battered. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, kind of beat. All right. Big love to you, bro. It's nice having you here again today on this quiet Sunday. Hope the B day was good, Sam. Love is true. It is. Is it this Sunday? Is Sam here yet? I'm not seeing Sam's. No, there we go. Yeah, Sam was here to the start of the stream. You still here, Sam? Let me see if I switch to all messages. If I'll see more. Nothing else popping up. But it is this Sunday that is your birthday, right? Is it the 4th? 4 on January. I can say that I'm happy that he's trying to roll himself dry on the grass and not on dirt. Silver linings. Yesterday, I think, could have been. My pig cat came to say hi as well. Bless that little duder, too. The critters that we have in our life that we get to extract endless entertainment and joy from. What an experience it is. Little butterflies flying in the distance, mountainsides and grass and trees, Burbies in the distance doing their things, doggos drying themselves on the grass after their owners have washed the turtle shit off of them. What a life. What a life it is. I don't think he thinks I was trying to help, right? I was helping him and everyone in the house so they don't have to touch turtle shit for the rest of however long it stays in his fur. But I can feel him looking at me with a sense of like, why would you do this? So I had such a perfect coating of turtle shit on my fur, and you washed me. I loathe you. Oh, I loathe you. Do you loathe me? Looks away. That feels like loathing. That feels like extra loathing. Look at me. Look at me if you don't loathe me. That's looking. All right, I'll take it. Still some slow blanks coming from that sign. Uninterested. The sun will dry you up quick, I'm sure. He does know his spot. The moon is so vibrant today. I was lucky enough to get to see it just before I went to bed last night, Aaron. It really was pretty. At first, it was completely overcast, and I could only see the faint glow of the moon behind. But then, as time passed, it thinned out, and first I got to see the moon in a glow. I clearly see the moon, but there was a big glow around it as well. I have astigmatism, so there's these lines on the lights from my eyes. And then later there was a very clear view of the moon as well. To me, the crazy thing about looking at the moon is how different it is every single time. Right? Clearly the same thing every time, but the difference in experience is always stark. And yes, the similarity of so much time of human beings having looked up and seen it. On the turtle fractal, I was walking down the train tracks the other day and found a completely intact turtle shell that had been bleached and dried by the sun. Nothing gross at all. That is cool. There is something pure about like a skeleton, to say it in that way. Right? A corpse still kind of losing bits to the bugs and to the flies. Guess those are bugs too, right? That is a little bit gross. We're like, oh, I don't want to get anything very close to that. But just a clean little skeleton, not a not a smidge of skin or flesh still attached to it. Why is it that our brains have less of a problem with that? I guess it is an understanding of the sanitary part of the experience, right? That we understand that rotting flesh probably could be bad for us, right? Could give us diseases, could just make us sick. So yeah, a skeleton probably doesn't do that. Wonder what the first person that ever saw a skeleton thought. Can't imagine when human skeletons became something that people understood. Because we, modern humans, understand that we have a skeleton. But I don't think it's something that's really. I want to use the word internalized, which feels paradoxical because it's literally inside of you. The way I'm experiencing the thought of bones right now in my mind is that if you think too much about it, it takes away from all of the other important stuff, right? That, at least in my mind, most of the resistance to breaking your bones comes from everything outside of it, the muscle and the skin, the strength of your tendons, and all of those things can be strengthened. I think you can strengthen your bones too, technically, with exercise and resistance. There is a way for us to get stronger. Love is true. Hey, Darren, had to pop out for a second. Today is the birthday. There we go. Darren helping us remember. I remember even saying to Sam that she should let us know on the day, but Nice that you helped us remember, dear friend. This is why it's good to have a collective of minds, right? Not everybody is always as on it as Darren is, and we appreciate him greatly. So we can appreciate our dear Sam on her birthday. Happy birthday, Sam. So much love to you. Thank you for spending some of your special day with us in this moment. Happy birthday to you, you beautiful new animal. Happy birthday. So much love. Thank you again, dear friends, for blessing our friends with love the way you do. May the universe bless you and wrap its loving embrace around every step of your path. I'll tip a glass for you. Do not tempt me, Dan. Dan is here with us. Yeah, aren't you? No, I think the baby is eating food already. Yeah, everything in moderation. Yeah. Today's stream topic is about trying to be helpful. One of the ways in which I try to be helpful is in letting people know that alcohol is really bad for them. Like, really not good. It might taste good and it might feel good temporarily, but the actual mechanism, the actual action path that it takes in your body is not good. Very detrimental indeed. And there are other things that are there for us to do instead that have less detrimental action paths, right? However, normalization. The alcohol industries are hurting. Did you know that? I think there was something like it's either 8 or it's 80 or it's 800, right? The bigger the number, the bigger my smile. $1 billion loss that these companies have taken year on year because my generation and younger aren't drinking as much anymore. We're just like, pay money to feel bad? No, actually, I'm not gonna do that. There are so many layers, right? It's not just the bad that we feel. The whole social lubricant fractal does have some weight behind it. It's not untrue. But again, there are other things that have that action path. Trying to be helpful. All right. Rarely, rarely are you found helpful when you try and let someone know that alcohol is not good for them. All right. They rarely appreciate that little tidbit. And I have grown a lot more quiet about it, especially when I know it's gonna not be helpful. However, it's this weird paradox of in trying to be helpful, wanting rather to be helpful, there really isn't a difference between helping someone who is receptive or who isn't receptive because it might. There are always a chance somewhere in there. Maybe even if it doesn't change anything immediately, maybe it allows for change over a time frame. Like it's one of the straws. Not the straw, but one of the straws that ends up breaking the vehicle's axis. We can't say breaking the camel's back, but that's yeah, kind of yikes. All right, breaking a vehicle's axis feels still yikes, still gonna be painful, but at least it won't be physically painful to a creature. I see, Sam. I wouldn't tempt you then. Oh, indeed. I'm also a fan of the California sober parenting. Yeah. right? Something, something. What? How different would the world be if more kids grew up with uh, a dad with munchies instead of ones that were aggressive and violent towards them. All right, paraphrasing, probably butchering it in the process, but yeah, again, what has been normalized and what is seen as socially acceptable. Cannabis has helped me build relationships with people as well. Right, it softens that part of you that is as obsessed with its own story in a perfect certain way. Right, it allows me to soften that self-critical part of my ego. Allows me to just be like, okay, this is what is. Here I am for it. Indeed, Sam, you are such a wonderful creation. I personally feel grateful for being able to interact with you in your life. You are a joy to have in my morning contemplation. Hugs and kisses. Hugs, kisses, and kitties. Maybe some doggos too. Love is true. Thank you for blessing our friend on her birthday like that. I mentioned earlier in stream going through this whole fractal of considering what makes a person happy at the end of their life. And one of the reoccurring themes is the relationships you have, right? The quality of the relationships, the depth. And as I was considering that being a metric for happiness, I was thinking about you, friends, and about us in this space and the relationship we have with one another as it relates to living life with friends, right? No matter where those friends are, at some point, once a day, having that almost like access to the collective, seeing how the collective is syncing up, seeing the differences. It's a happy birthday, Swampy, you're a treasure. Someone out here in the universe appreciates you. A lot of people do. Y'all, I want to share some personal revelations I've been struggling through. Cat pushed my camera over. Such a surprise for me. Let us know, bro. This is the space for it. We're here for you. Allowing ourselves to take some mindful breaths as well. Take deep old breaths. Deep old little breaths. Creatures. So many creatures in this world. I like that cat. Minx is a interesting creature. She's like cat light, the coupe cat. Such a small one. A small little cat. It is it is funny the way they add to our experience. To one of the things that I was experiencing just earlier practicing yoga is the way that Kobe chases this cat around. Never hurts her. Never ever hurts her. When he catches her, he does that like light almost the same way as he'll do with my arm, that like light hold. Doesn't actually want to hurt you. Doesn't actually want to hurt the cat. But the way he chases the cat around and how this little cat will just uppity into the branches, look down from above. I've had moments where I walk around this area and then the cat happens to be in that tree. And then I'll walk up to the front of that little branch and then suddenly a little head will peek out of the branches because Minx was in the tree and spotting me outside the branches wanted to surprise me or something. Right? I still do consider them problematic in some ways for the environment. And if they have access to more birds than they do rats, kind of fractal, they can do a lot of harm. But they do add points of interest, right? They're cute. I had this whole conversation how because they're cute, they get away with ecological damage. They get away with literally shitting in a box in our houses. They get away with scratching our furniture. It's scratching wood, piece of wood right now, which is great. At least they don't scratch our furniture. They get away with being fed every day, right? Because cute. Because make me out. There's a lot I can learn. Yes, learning. I don't think human beings are as cute as cats are. I think you have to be a lot more interesting to be cute as a human. Maybe that's why we find ourselves so, I want to say almost like the word panicked subconsciously, because as our lives have become more digitized in some ways, right, it's very hard to be interesting. I think what it enables on the other side is it allows shared interests to arise a little bit more clearly. It allows us to find niches that other people have gravitated towards as well. However, there is a certain definition that happens in the media side of it that is inaccessible in the conversation. And then the conversation kind of arises about personal ideas and plans and what wants to be, but it can run out quickly. I'm thinking about the difficulty that I've seen in people trying to communicate, trying to have some conversations, and how so much of the conversations we're having right now feels either, I want to almost use the word rehearsed, down to the level of it's the same kind of things that we've been talking about this whole time. Not much has changed. And then on the other side, I see it as like almost the stuff people don't want to talk about because they might seem crazy to the other person if they did. I'm pretty sure I heard a flat earth conversation during our family get together during during this month or last month, right? And I don't know if it was said as jest. It might have been partially jest. But the way that I heard it, it sounded like there was genuine consideration, right? Like the moon landing is fake and the earth is probably flat, right? And it was like the moon landing is fake part was like strong belief and the earth landing is flat was kind of like joke, but also not that am I. But for both of those statements, right? I can like let you I can let you believing the moon landing is fake. I can let that slide. But the earth is flat. It's gonna be a hard sell for me, bro. A little bit of hard sell. Use the common tongue, Linda. We all are using English. Yeah. I'm not even seeing there we go. Yeah. We're speaking English. He's still speaking Englishes. Englishes is speaking his sauce. My father. Oh, wait a second. I think I haven't. There we go. Here's some context. Dan has been sending us. When I was 6 years old and my sister was 10, She refused to visit with my father due to his rageful behavior. Foolishly, my mom allowed this, which gave him the power to sue her. My father took it a step further and tried to get full custody to avoid child support payments. It got pretty ugly, and I was right in the middle. I remember being coached on how to speak to the judge so that one parent would win. And I remember lying to parents, throwing the other under the bus to appease them. At that age, it's survival. So fast forward to now, and I'm like a chameleon in social settings. I'm good at identifying a person's needs and catering myself towards that. But then I start dating someone like I am now. It gets more complicated when you start to connect with someone, and I can't continue to like cater myself after a certain point, and ambiguity in the early stages triggers that survival thing from the parents. A lot of depth has already been shared. It feels like this is a massive revelation that you have experienced, bro. Like, if I can only just see where it's going. Can't imagine how hard it must have been at that age to have those expectations placed upon you. You can see where some of your hurt is coming from as well, that you've shared. In general, toxic people require toxic people to vindicate themselves. It's okay to be genuine, regardless of the results. It's true. Love is true. Use the common tongue. There we go. Release the training and recover the truth and nature of human reaction. Rumdor says they go hand in hand. We saw Earth was round when we went to space. Yeah, exactly. Some people don't believe that that is something that's possible, right? Like there's an international space station. I feel it's just a matter of the information you absorb, right? If instead of watching all of the space launch videos, all of the International Space Station videos, all of the right data that again vindicates the existence of the moon landing, the equipment that was left there, the reflective panels for us to do light experiments. Like it is a matter of what information you expose yourself to. But again, who knows? At the end of the day, too. So, am I going to make a stand out of it? Maybe not. It is connecting of the dots happening for me right now that can feel clarifying and overwhelming. Y'all have been here for some of it, and I truly appreciate the space. It's helpful. We're happy to be helpful in any way that we can, bro. I'm still thinking about the last bit of your message as well, where you mentioned that because of this adaptive behavior, you can find yourself in relationships. And part of me, you mentioned the whole this version of you, but you're also going to become a certain version of you with the person you're with, right? Like you're gonna adapt in that way too. And a part of me believes that that is good, right? That it's a part of being in a relationship. That if a person can change you for the better, I think there's a point at which you have to evaluate and ask yourself whether or not a person is making your life better for being with them. And if that point comes and you're uh, not convinced, right? I feel like that's where the change comes in as well. Almost like if you love, right? Because it's a matter of self-love as well, loving another person. If you love the person that you are and are becoming with the person you're with, right? That is a good direction to continue going, right? And if you see yourself spiraling and becoming less than you're supposed to be, right? That could be a signal that something is supposed to change. And I feel that to me at least becomes easier
to quantify than trying to not change myself as a person or trying to be a certain person, trying to, almost like solve for a problem that seems to be impossible. I grew up learning how to lie to survive. When I got to the point that I no longer needed it, I had this. A person I never got to know because I never let myself be them. Done. That's deep. Sitting quietly and listening to your personal partner, potential partner, is a good way to understand what we are supposed to say. We might be preconditioned, but we aren't held to those lessons. We're free to choose. It's a rough road sometimes. Yeah, yeah. I love you, Dan, and I have faith that you will overcome this tide. Regardless of the results, we're in a position to learn from these experiences. It is beautiful to think about it that way, right? Because I find myself in this space. That little kitty is also just like zoned out. At some points, eyes closed, there it goes again. And I can find myself in a state of calm and bliss as well, right? But it is as you said, I find, and all of us being human beings collectively do, find ourselves in the unique position to learn from these experiences, to grow because of that. No matter what the outcome of them may be. I feel like I do get stuck a little bit on that. I like things being a very specific way, right? Catered, uh, particular, very particular. But again, that sets me up for a certain suffering. Again, the whole wanting for things to be differently. We are in a position to learn. I like that cat. You better watch out, Minx. You might have a new home soon. That cat would fit in a shoebox. Of course, I wouldn't do such a thing. But it could be done, is what I'm saying. That's exactly it, Sam. You become like the mirror in Harry Potter, just showing people what they want to see. Yeah. I feel, again, right? Maybe to like echo you a little bit. Maybe there is a balance that can be reached. I feel that it helps to take some time, right, for that authentic self to become clear over time. I find my authentic self to be very simple, right? If that makes sense. It's like not overcomplicated. My authentic self is very quiet and introspective as it experiences subjective reality, right? Quite literally, just I wanna I wanna experience what it is I'm experiencing, and have like a whole little world inside myself about what that means. And sometimes I'll extract a certain depth in that I would love to share, but the resolution with which I try to always seems to fall short. So in that, the whole technomancery and transhumanism comes in. Maybe eventually I'll be able to share with more fidelity my inner experience. But in the meanwhile, this external experience is also one that I have some control over. And I feel like it's again, right? I don't know if that's hard to understand. I think it can be a little bit, I want to use the word almost like distancing. I'm imagining the fractal of almost like climbing a little mountain, right? That there is a certain having to carry yourself up it and a satisfaction in doing that. And that satisfaction exists with doing it to someone else as well. But there might not always be the same level of energy or excitement for that path. And then there can arise this new experience where two people can do the things that they want to do. And then there can be this excitement in returning after the adventure has been completed. And I do think there is an element of that in my psyche as well. I like echoing a pattern. It's like almost trying to self modulate, try and contain the ADHD version of myself a little bit. Mm-mm-mm. The chameleon aspect you describe is familiar too. To me, it doesn't even feel like lying, it just feels like performing. But performing is work, so growth is reminding myself to be lazy and allow others to see the real me. It's beautifully said. So, what guarantee? I gotta read Dan's first. Is it exactly? It is exactly that. It's performance. So on a first date, it's a skill, cause she's anxious, simply cause I'm a man and a stranger, and it's easier for me to put on a show and ease a person's nerves. So what guarantee do you have that a third date means she actually likes you, and not the performance you? But now we're a bit further along, and their urge to want to put on the show to resolve anxiety is strong. But I'm not giving into that voice. The control we have over our lives is immeasurable. Our ability to control ourselves is limited only to our own imagination. We are a collective, and we must remember how to use our imagination to stay loose and stay awake, my friends. Yeah, that's beautifully said. Performance me is still me. It's just a filtered version. When things deepen, there isn't a need to perform anymore. It's either going somewhere or it's not. Yeah. It's almost like a Rolodex. You taking out all of the shiny parts of yourself and showing it to this other person, right? Like, I think most of us have enough intuition to know if a person is lying, right? About something that they're maybe saying they're passionate about, sometimes at the very least. And in that way, you might highlight these things that you're passionate about, even though it's not something that you're always going to talk about in that way. But you are in that moment because it is performative. You maybe want to impress this person, make yourself seem interesting, right? And in that way, that performance, that part of the performance will go away because this other person will already know the things that are impressive about you. And now it's a matter of being impressed by you in this moment. Or maybe impressed is not the right word. Maybe I want to use the word impacted, right? Every good relationship has a positive impact on your life. And it's something that you can feel. It's like a force for good, pushes you in a certain direction. Yeah. Then the heartache and confusion has almost nothing to do with them. Being raw enough to show yourself is a powerful place for the spirit. Just rock with it when you get jumpy. Yeah. It's almost like the last resort. If everything else fails, you can be yourself. Just like I like almost like letting people know even the embarrassing stuff. I'll tell them when I'm stressed out, when I'm having a hard time, when I'm overstimulated by my environment or my current experience. And I find more often than not people respect my my candidness about the jumpy experience that is being a human. Quick like a band-aid. Yeah, you're so right. I hope you're echoing the fractal of like saying the embarrassing thing so that people don't have to judge you and think it for themselves kind of thing. It's like you put a band-aid on that part of your ego and you move on. All right. It's very easy to forget about it if it's already been said. There's this place inside me that remembers, let your light shine, and it holds it in one hand, considering with the other, they were all complete douchebags the last time I did that. What changed? I think, again, maybe it's not a matter of what changed, but what remained the same. All right. The fact that your light continues to shine, whether or not they change. Boom. Yes. Is that Joe here with us too? Love you, beautiful beings, and lovely light bears. Nice having you here with us. Joe. Many hugs to you. Jovan, there she is. Love and chat. It's Sam's birthday today. Joe, tell her happy birthday. It's nice to have you here celebrating with us for a little bit. For me, the anxiety is not in the moment. Usually, in person stuff is fun and easy. The anxiety creeps after the fact. That's where ambiguity lives. But, anyways, again, appreciate the space, friends. I think you're right on that, Dan. Right? I think for me, it's kind of the same. It's like in the moment when there is that connection, when there is that ability to interface with the other person, it's easy and fun. But as soon as that direct feedback loop gets broken, as you said, the ambiguity comes in where we don't know if that person is having the same thoughts that we are, or if our thoughts are uh, disproportionate in that way, right? Then we should tone it back, or we should tone it up. Makes it so complicated so quickly. Hey, Jovan, so much love. Yeah, yeah. Echoing today's fractal of trying to be helpful. I don't know if it would be helpful, but one of the things that I've been thinking about is that stick over there. Part of me wants to cut it, cut it right there, to have like a big old bat kind of thing. Bonking stick. An absolutely incredible bonking stick, which ideally would never have to be used, but it would be cool. All right. If I ever became a barbarian, I would have a primo bonking stick at hand, made made from the very dirt that I'm sitting on. Might still stumble into slumber, but I'm lurky listening with love until then. I'm gonna show flower and read poem right now. Even it is time. Ooh, the after action debrief, all those fruitful little thoughts about moments that are probably not a big deal but seem like it is to us when we rehash everything we did that day. I get that. Yeah, it is like that, Sam. It is like that. And again, it's prudent to get good at not believing that part of yourself, to realize that every other person is probably doing the exact same thing. And they're not thinking about the embarrassing thing that you did. Is like, did I perform hard enough? Did the critics like my show? I know that I go through the same exact experience every single day after I finish this live stream as well. So I can't even for a moment say that I don't know what your friends mean. All of the little moments and add up in hindsight. That I successfully convinced people I cared when they told the same story they've told me 43,324 times before. Yeah. So, love is true. Your friends crack me up. That, but I'm the one telling this story again. Even better. Me too. I do the same thing. I'll tell the same story sometimes, especially if I really like it. For me, it feels prudent to have like a certain chronicle, some stories that you can go back to that you enjoy telling, people enjoy hearing. Flower, beautiful. Thank you, bro. Love is true. Let's get to the poem, shall we? 44% on my battery and 11 minutes past. Melty needs to make Hawaiian shirts. It'll happen, bro. It'll happen. I don't know how it will happen. I don't know if I'll have to meet the right person. I'll probably have to have enough budget to find a proper manufacturer, go out and test the materials for myself. Ideally, I want my stuff made out of hemp, all right? Something that's going to be ultra long lasting, even if it might be a little bit less comfortable. Think it might be a little bit less comfortable, right, than one of these thin shirts, but must have design, of course. Melty, you're kind of like a rum dust in that regard. Got your bite-sized wisdom-filled stories on deck. I appreciate that love, bro. They do come and go, right? When they are relevant, they sneak their way in. Hemp-based Hawaiian sounds pretty great, right? Would be very long lasting because I have busted through so many of these shirts where literally I stretch too hard and they just pop in half, right? Or I lift my arm too much and they just tear off, right? I blame the shirts. It's not my fault. Helpful isn't doing the work for them. Helpful is easily taken advantage of. It's quite a fractal, Darren. A good shirt design for you would be multiple flowers on a shirt, and that would be freaking awesome. I think it would be, right? I can like color match a bunch of my work together and then have even like varying sizes. I've had like a little bit of practice collaging my work together and stuff, so I do feel I would be able to make something that looks nice. I've busted through multiple shirts. Well, that's what happens when you do your own stunts in your own wardrobe. Louis Fergino. I don't know that name, but I'm sure it's an awesome reference. I'll try and understand. Yeah, maybe that is my bad. No, actually, I rehash what I said earlier, and I'll say that in fact, it's the shirt's fault. The shirts need to be more durable, and then I can then the one of the Hulk actors, the old Hulk actor. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a win. Malt Louis Fergino is the original actor of the Hulk. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. That's a win to me. I'm getting caught in a little news loop. Yeah, challenges, gestures broadly to living in Africa. Too small for the material. That's exactly what's happening.
Yep.
This shirt, however, has come from like one of my firsts. It might be one of the last of the first shirts that I got. So some of them can make it. You were 21 years out from Hulk hands, guys. We're 21 years out from Hulk hands, guys. I don't know what that means. I'm more confused now. Swampy the boy just tore my heart out. Doesn't know who the Hulk is. How? Ferrigno. Ferrigno. Ferrig. Ferrignua. Don't at me. It stings a little for me too. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner has been that other actor whose name I also don't know. And if you said it, I'd probably know it. Mark Rubio. Is that his name? Uh, who is the new Hulk actor? Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. But it's still Rubio. That's me even harder. How do you not know? Huh, I'm sorry. Like again, they're not my friends. I don't say their name all the time. I sometimes forget my friends' names. Not always. But if I don't use your name, right, it's like my brain is like, this space has not been activated in the wrong time. Guess we're gonna reutilize this space now, right? Remembers a nice piece of grass that I saw one time in place of that person's name instead. I beat and was beaten by many of friends with those things. With the Hulk hands. Oh man. That's a sad thing to read, Dan. Hulk hands. They were those giant foam hands. You mean we're 21 years out? As in they came out 21 years ago? That Hulk hands as a thing is older than an entire generation of human beings. Maybe that's. I do know that fractal. They were those giant foam Hulk balls that made noise when you punched. I think everything makes a noise when you punch. Mark Ruby. You got me to audibly chuckle. Good, good. Yes, this is the intended effect that I was eliciting. Yeah. Right, Swampy. I was over here, not making fun of you, just laughing. No, this is perfect. This is how I intended for it to go. Because again, I am not good. Like if I had to go to trivia night to like remember celebrity names, you don't want to be on my team. I'll say that much. We need Avengers Trump admin edition, bro. All I can say is that I'm happy I'm not on some sort of list. That's what I'll say. Right. The amount of like yikes of like just being able to do stuff. Right. If you're on a list, right, they can just literally, even if you're the actual president of a country, they can just come and take you. They can just like do that. Your luxurious life, Miriam Dara mansions, bodyguards out your ass, and then just I'll tell them nope, takes you right out of it. That is pretty wild. That is pretty crazy, right? And then there's so much nuance as well, because again, we in South Africa face very similar challenges. And if the exact same thing had to happen to our president, you would have the same kinds of reactions that you're seeing the Venezuelans have to this, how do you say, uh, development. Yes. Yes, these developments. The current president of our country has a 600 billion rand net worth. Is that right? $600 million net worth. Hey Google, what is Cyril Ramaphosa's net worth? Man, it's really thinking about it. Yes, yeah, there we go. 4.450 million US dollar net worth. That's a lot of million US dollars of net worth to have as a president. All right. It's like this matter of almost like I feel like disillusionment where nobody knows what the hell's going on anymore. And it's almost like there is this baseline kind of acceptance, even appreciation, if there is anyone doing anything with a motive or an agenda, right? If anybody has a plan, that's great. At least somebody has a plan, kind of mentality. Uh, it's wild. This unprecedented, the times we're living through. Absolutely wild. Oh, no, nope, 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 nope. We have Need for Avengers Trump Edition. I'm so terrible at names. Jesus Christ. I want in. Let's get Caroline Levitt as the Black Widow. JFK Jr. as Doctor Strange. Uh, we need Trump as Iron Man. Yeah, that's so cursed because I love Iron Man actually, which makes it extra cursed. Oh, I'm on a few lists. Yeah, suddenly we're on all of the lists just from this conversation that we had. Thanks. Thanks, guys. I was like trying really hard to not get on any of the lists now, thanks to you. Luckily, they don't have airboats. That's the most submissive adventure. That's Shady Vance, Hawkeye. And of course, the big pizza man himself appearing, Specialist Pizza Hut. No other way. Incredible Sam, that's perfect. As Pizza the Hut, like Jabba the Hut. I'll have no other way. Yeah, you friends. I have no affiliation. I'll say this. This is Meltmore's words. No affiliation with all of it, whatever was typed in chat and is has been said, has been auto translated by this document. I am in the clean. This is my verbal saying that I am just here, almost like facilitating goofiness, and I'm actually a great guy. I'm actually really good, and I'm generally well liked, and I'm respectful of all of the laws, and I am God and police fearing. Please, Mr. Algorithm, hear me. Hear my prayer. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Oh, the balance of being serious and being unserious at the same time of that whole fractal. Right? Watch this. Watch this. Have you ever seen something like that? Yeah, Melt, you showed it to us earlier. Well, see it again. Look at that little creature. Look at that little dude. Can't not like the little creature hiding in the flowers. This poem is called Holding the Room. Self control isn't silence, it is cooperation.
It is the quiet agreement we make with people we may never speak to that this moment matters, and so do they. Every shared space runs on it: buses, kitchens, streets, rooms with thin walls. Nothing works without a little restraint, without someone choosing not to push just because they can. We all feel it rise: the irritation, the urge to correct, to react, to prove that we were affected. That feeling isn't wrong, it's human. But what we do next is where the collective either tightens or relaxes. Self control is the pause that keeps a moment from tipping. It's choosing not to add weight to an already heavy atmosphere, not because nothing matters, but because everything does. Most of the time, we're not fixing the problem, we're protecting the experience. We're deciding that the room doesn't need another sharp edge, that our discomfort doesn't have to ripple outward, that peace is something we actively make even when no one notices, especially when no one notices. This isn't about being passive, it's about being dependable, about becoming someone whose presence doesn't demand managing. When enough of us do this, hold our tone, hold our reactions, hold space for the fact that everyone's carrying something, the world gets softer in small, real ways. Not quieter, kinder. Self control isn't the absence of feeling, it's a shared practice, a way of saying without words, I won't make this life harder. I'm here with you. We can get through this moment. I appreciate. Appreciate? I appreciate you, friends, for joining me again. What a pleasure it was to share another moment, to celebrate you, dear Sam. It is a blessing. Sending you so much love. I hope you find the rest of your day beautiful, filled with good stuff. Quietly add the word Spaceballs to the list of movies I insist Melt sees. I've seen Spaceballs, the the mashup between cartoon and live action, right? Hey Google, what's Spaceballs? What's Spaceballs? Might have to watch it again. Spaceballs is 1987 cult classic sci-fi parody. Oh yes, the massive hat thing, right? Massive Darth Vader. But again, haven't seen that in. I think I saw that when I was like 9. Probably shouldn't have been seeing it when I was 9, but I can't remember it, so fine. I'll let it slide. It will have to go to the list. You're right. Mm-mm-mm. Believe this for real? Man ain't taking one adventure with Lone Star. Manifest the beauty you wish to see. Peace, y'all. Have a lovely day. Kiefer, just in time, man. To tell you that you're loved. It's nice to have you here for even just a moment. I'll see you, friends, again soon. If you skip back to the start of stream, you'll see me with a little turtle friend. I did a little bit of maintenance, helping. I was trying to be helpful, yes. I appreciate you, friends, for being here with me. Thank you for the love. I'll see you, friends, again real soon. Tomorrow, okay?